Hi Riva fans, thank you so much for stopping by and visiting my channel. Today's project is going to be a DIY project. We're going to be building a frame around a bathroom vanity mirror. You might ask why we're doing this. Well, a lot of us folks would like to update our bathroom, but we need those few extra $100 to make that dream come true. Instead of going out and buying yourself a brand new mirror, why don't we just make a frame and make it pretty? So here we are in a guest bathroom, and as you can see, I have a huge mirror on this wall. So we are going to be building a frame, like a picture frame, around this mirror, give it a brand new look. We're going to be painting it as well as glazing it. Below, I'm going to show you here, I would like to match the vanity cabinets, to the mirror so that we have a perfect match. Okay guys, so this is the vanity that I'm trying to match for our DIY project with the mirror, but just wanted to show you a little closer that this vanity was also painted and glazed. So I'm going to match that paint color and use like an almond white color, and then just do a really light glaze around my frames. So get your supplies ready and let's begin. Okay, Riva fans, we are ready to begin. I'm going to go over the supplies that you're going to need for this project. So we're going to need a few rags. Rag for once we sand down our wood, you're going to need one of those. And then another rag once we start glazing the frame. You're going to need yourself a 400 grit sandpaper. We're going to need a foam brush, paintbrush, some liquid nails. You can get this like this in a tube that goes into a caulk gun, or there's actually squeezable ones too. So whatever is easier for you. I know for me, the gun is a little harder, either or, but you can get both. Your choice of paint. So the color that we are doing today to match the vanity, it's called Maritime, and Benjamin Moore makes this paint. By the way, this is not a sponsored video. These are products I like to use, and they're strictly my opinion. So we are going to use that paint color, and then we're going to need glaze. So this glaze is also by Benjamin Moore. It's the Studio Finishes. It's acrylic glaze, and these can get mixed to any color you want. We are going to use mocha to match, like I said, that vanity in that bathroom. And then you're going to need some trim wood, just like this. There's so many different styles, so many different cuts. You can buy these at your local hardware store, your bigger chain stores. They're not that expensive. Again, you get to choose your style. So this is a style that I chose with all these edges. I think it's going to look really neat to put around that mirror with the frame. So what we're going to do first is, you've measured obviously your mirror of, what sizes you're going to need. You're going to have to cut these to do that size. And then once they're cut, now we are going to be ready to sand them. So I'm going to show you close up a little bit here of how to sand these boards. So get your sandpaper out, and we are just going to sand this smooth. Like I said, 400 grit. And then make sure that you do your edges here, because that's where you cut. So you want to make that side smooth. Take any excess off. So you do this to all your boards. Make sure you get that back done. Just a little bit, because we're really not going to fully paint that back. We're just going to do the edges so it doesn't show through the mirror once you put the board up. Okay, pretty much that is done. And then you take your cleaning rag and just wipe off the dust of what you just did. Make sure you get it all out, because you don't want it, you don't want to paint over that and be a big mess. Okay, so that is sanded down, and now we're going to be ready to paint it. We are ready to paint these boards. So what I like to do is we like to start in the back of the board, okay? So flip your boards over. I have some risers. I have another, I just used wood, just easier to paint, give it a little bit of lift. So get your choice of paint out, your paintbrush, and let's start painting. So you don't have to do the whole thing. You can leave that middle. It's just these corners, the edges we want to paint, because of once you put it on the mirror, you know, you don't want it to show. Okay, so we're just gonna paint those. If you get some in the middle, that's fine. But again, the back doesn't have to be that perfect because it's gonna go against the mirror. So let's give that a good coat. With something like this, since it's this is raw wood, this is probably gonna take, I would give it 2 good coats of it. Make sure that you allow dry time for this before you put your second coat on, and especially also too when you flip it over to do the front side, you want to make sure that it's dry. Let me go around over here. I will show you this a little closer up once I get all painted here. Okay, so now, since it is on a riser, I would do all the sides. Start doing that. Make sure you clean up the excess paint. Or you can do these sides when you do the front. That's up to you. Another really good simple project, a lot of it's fun, and you'll be giving yourself a updated vanity mirror. Again, if you have any questions, comments, please make sure that you put them on the comments. Sorry, it's a little noisy from these risers, but it makes your job much easier. Okay, so we have our 1 coat in the back of it. Again, just the corners. You don't have to do the whole thing. Let me show you a good close-up of what I did here so that you guys can understand. So this is a close-up of what we just painted. So all I did was basically paint the corners, and we will be doing this on every single board. Okay, so we got our first one done, and we're just gonna go to our next one. So same thing. So just paint all the edges, you know, off the boards. And then again, we're gonna wait till this completely dries, depending again on your temperature, where you're working at. This can take anywhere between 30 minutes, an hour or so, and then I would go ahead and put my second coat on. To be safe, I would then wait a few hours or even say tomorrow you know, and then we can actually flip it over and then do our coats for the front. So make sure once you're done with the back, once it's dry, go ahead and flip it over and then go ahead and paint your front. Once that is painted, then we're gonna go ahead and start our glazing process. So let's continue to paint our boards and let it dry. Again, flip it over, do the next side, and once all that is dry, then we will, like I said, continue on our glazing. Okay, let's start painting. Okay, so we have our boards. They're completely dry, both sides here. So now we are going to start glazing them. So have your gloves on, get your glaze out, and make sure that you mix it up here a little bit. We got our foam brush and then our rag for the glaze. All right, well, let's begin doing our glazing. Okay, so I brought the board a little closer for you guys to see. So what I want to glaze on this is these creases right here. So there's a few creases that I'm gonna grab. I'm gonna do that. So get your glaze and let's start. We can do a little light, put a light coat on first and then we'll work it that way. Okay. So put your foam brush in the crease. Get it all the way to the corner. And now take your rag. And what I would do with this, since it's such a small crease, wrap your finger around that rag, just like that. And then let's go ahead and start cleaning it off. And as you can see here, it got on the side, so then let's clean that off before it dries. Anything on the side like that. There's also some right there. Now remember, it doesn't have to be an even coat, meaning one side darker than the other. That's fine, because that's what glazing's about. You don't want it to be perfect or the same. So here I'm just gonna add a little more and then clean. Okay, so we got our first line done. Let's go to the next. All right, wrap your finger like that. And don't forget there's gonna be excess extra here. You just wanna clean that off. Okay, and then we move on. And what's cool about this is because of the crease, that cleanup is really, it's a little easy. So this one has a little deeper, wider crease, and that's okay. Just clean it like that. Clean that top. I just love glazing. I think it's a really neat look, and it just makes any piece really stand out, especially when you're doing cabinets and all that fun stuff. It's just a fun project. All right, next one. And again, guys, if you have any comments, any suggestions that you would like to see in the future, please let me know. You might want, maybe you're working on a project that you have questions on, or would like my opinion on something, or do a how-to, please put them on my comment field. Okay, all right, we got our last crease here that we're working on. And again, don't be afraid with this glaze if you put a little or put a lot, because you can add more and you can clean up. It's really easy to clean up. So with these rags, you might need another rag or two, and it is washable, so that's the good news. And just clean. And clean. All right, I think we got it all. Just check your corners, make sure you got nothing on the side, because our focus is, you know, the front. All right, so this is what it looks like glazed. Now, if you see right here, there's a couple spots that did not grab. I wiped pretty good there, so it's okay. Just grab your glaze, put it on that crease right there, like that. You can let it sit for a second if you want. It's not gonna hurt it. Don't let it sit too long, because like I said, it dries. And just clean up. Okay. Just make sure all of our glaze is even here. The cleanup is even. Okay. All right, well, there we have it. So we got our first board that has been glazed, just like that. So we are going to do that with all of the rest of the boards. So go ahead. So I got four boards here to do. So go ahead and do the rest of your board. And then the next process is going to be putting them up on the mirror. Okay, so let's begin glazing again. Guys, we are now back to our bathroom. We finished glazing our trim, and just don't forget to make sure that your glaze is fully dry before you put them up. So I made this a little easier for us. I had gone and put 3 of the boards up already. I'm gonna do my last piece with you all. So what you do is, this is where the nail glue comes in, okay? Here, as you see, I got tape. The reason why is because once you put it on there, you want to make sure you have something to hold it while it's drying. So I recommend that you use some painter's tape, and that's what you see up here. Before we move forward, I do want to point this out in case you have the same issue that I did, is with an outlet. This outlet right here is really close to my new trim that I added. So what I had to do is I had to basically trim off the plate. So that's all that you do. And then you would put it back on once you have your frame on, okay, to make your life a little easier. So I do want to point that out in case you had the same thing I did. Okay, so we are now going to start putting glue on our board. So get your nail glue out. If you have a caulk gun, have that up. Or if you bought that squeezable one, have that out. But this is where we're gonna do now. Okay guys, we have our gun ready, and we are ready to roll with the nail gun. So what we want to do is you want to put your glue on these 2 edges right here. You don't need anything in the middle, but be very careful. Don't put too much on the edge, but you want to get close to the edge, but not too close, okay? So again, if you have the squeezable one, or if you have, sorry about that, if you have this gun, whatever is easy for you. For me, it's easy both ways. I mean, I do like the squeezable ones too, if you're not comfortable with the gun. So make sure you stop there on the corner. And just be very careful that you don't put too much on because you don't want it leaking and coming out of the frame when you put this up. Okay. And then over here on this side up here, you see how I missed a little bit on top here? Just squeeze a little more because those edges are really important. All right, so we are now ready to put our board up. Take your board, make sure that you make it flush with the other board that you have there, and press in. This nail glue is pretty good stuff. Okay, once you got that, you're going to take your painter's tape and you're going to tape it against the mirror here, okay, just like that. Wrap it around the board and bring it out to the wall. So for this particular one, it's a smaller board. We're just going to use 2 of these. And then put one up here, same thing, wrap it around, bring it out into the wall, okay? Go ahead and let this dry. This particular brand that I use, Fuse It, says that we let it sit for 4 to 6 hours. So whatever brand you're going to buy, if you're going to go ahead and use this brand of liquid nails, just make sure that you do read your label because every manufacturer is going to have a different time. But this particular one says 4 to 6 hours. And before I forget, this is not a paid promotional video. This is strictly my opinion and products I do like to use. On the tape, make sure that you buy the delicate. And the reason being is because paint takes 30 days normally to cure. Even though this paint is dry, it's been overnight, our glaze is dry, you just want to make sure that you use delicate tape. My advice to you, in case your bathroom does, it has, say, you want to put your border on the wall. Please do not do that. I highly recommend that you don't. The reason being is because liquid nails is very, very strong. If you ever changed your mind later and you wanted to remove it, you literally would have to remove your drywall. That's how strong this stuff is. So as you can see, I put my border literally on top of my mirror, but there have been folks that have put their boards on the wall. So just be prepared. I'm not saying you can't do that if that's the look that you're looking for, but if you ever decided in the future to remove it, or maybe you want a different look, just be prepared to remove and replace that drywall because it will damage that drywall once it starts, once you remove it. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and let this sit for about 4 hours. And once our 4 hours is up, we're going to go ahead and remove the tape and then we'll have our finished product. So let's go ahead and let it dry for a little bit. Our liquid nails has dried. I have removed the tape from the frame and we are done with this project. So here we have our frame that we did for the mirror. We saved ourselves hundreds of dollars by not buying a new mirror. All we did is we updated the existing mirror that we had and put a nice frame on it. The frame with the glaze matches pretty good, the Vanity. I will post a picture at the end of this video with the Vanity and the mirror so that you guys can see it. But always remember to read that manufacturer label on your liquid nails because like I said, every manufacturer is different on dry time. I basically waited like around 3 hours before I removed the tape. So like I said, everybody's different, so make sure that you read that label. Please make sure that you subscribe to my channel and as well visit us on Facebook at Reba Chic. If you have any comments, any suggestions, please make sure that you put them in the comment field, or maybe you want to see me do something, for a project that you're working on. I would love to take on some, new ideas. But anyways, here's a good look on our frame. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. And that's it. All right. Till next time. See you later.